Tonight I got a touchy subject, going back to the dark side. The golden rule. Why the narcissistic spirit is suicidal. Think about the term ghosting from online or your cell phone. Okay? You see, maybe it's different in the origin of these spirits, which are parasites. The antiverse, or Zeta Reticuli, or some other star system. Perhaps in those realms, that type of behavior, sadistic and self-possessed behavior, is normal in some other galaxy. But here on planet Earth, according to the teachings of the Law of One, and many psychics have said, the ancient Christos race, the original human race, is about service to others, helping others, having originally had 12 DNA strands and oneness conscious. And for example, the Aboriginals who have one less DNA than us, they have never lost the ability to go into trance and oneness conscious. So, however, the orientation of the dark side was always service to self and war, domination, control. So perhaps this person that's the narcissist, who has a narcissistic spirit, who you might say is a covert narcissist themselves, or at the worst, hopefully not. You see, like I say, I believe it's a form of possession. They probably had alcoholic parents, or tweaker parents, some other drug addict parents, pharmaceutical addicted parents, physical abuse, rape, or all these things are way too tragically common. But even more tragically common than that, of course, is others' narcissism surrounding them. So tonight I'm sitting down at the community table and I see an old friend, but he's always been kind of an acquaintance. I'll say, shake his hand, give him a knuckles. He's kind of a health genius, but he has a reputation with the ladies, and I was going to tell him about this show and what I was doing, and he said, I gotta focus on his computer. And then he switched back to sweet talking to his girlfriend. But I appreciate at least the things he did in the truth movement and his works. So that brings up what I'm going to say next. The orientation from Babylon, your epigenetics, everything around you. You could have physical abuse, getting beat up, getting punched out a few times. In my example, it probably served to make me a little bit more narcissistic in my 20s, getting punched out a few times here when I first got to Santa Cruz as a young person. The so-called cost of living, all the Illuminati punks around you who are narcissistically possessed, all that. So, as far as around the West Coast here, but all of that is a false persona, okay? The narcissistic entities, it stems from a false persona. It comes in through the ego or through the hierarchy that these anti-life beings built into religion. Okay, so but the nature of these dark ones is manipulating, coercion, self-possession, gaslighting. This is what will happen when someone has this stealing at the worst, conning, no remorse or feelings no remorse or feelings of regret or repentance, even if you catch them stealing, robbing, lying, conning, cheating. And this is because these things are not actually human, that are inside their ego or their subconscious. It's very sad. So, so the reason why, the reason why there's no regret or repentance is because a parasitic entity is eating them, and it, you see, a lot of times these people that are narcissistic have large egos, and they might even love their job and love their family and love their children, and they're worried about the rent or whatever it might be, the normal everyday stresses. But see, what happens is these parasites will cause them to behave in ways that are not very human, and so because the original spirit, the avatar or the divine being, the beautiful soul, believes in the golden rule of the Bible, they'll want to drink themselves to death or OD on drugs or whatever. They'll have a suicidal impulse, or sometimes that'll drag them further into their bad habits. It's a vicious, vicious cycle. The only way out, again, is through repentance, changing, service to others, learning to heal through uh, realizing the oneness that I speak about and pray about and sing about in your own way. Okay. Um, a really brilliant psychologist or shaman might be able to help. I would say some of these people might, if they're willing to consider, if they're really willing to open to change, some might be helped by a really brilliant psychologist or shaman, and but a lot of them, it's sad how far lodged these things are into their ego, and they must be removed carefully. It's very hard work. Only a trained professional can do it, or the best they have to hope for is usually early death and isolation, and they always have to hide and do drugs or alcohol, and that's why I'm here, because I'm such a narcissist. I can't be friends with anyone here. And no, I'm kidding, but that kind of after living with that character for 3 or 4 years, it did make me want to go back to a hermitage to have space, to back to the old school hermit life, because the forest really keeps me the best company. The owl and the coyotes here singing back to me, and nothing else. Ideally, here is helps me to think and feel myself rather than some other, again, some nasty interdimensional parasites or someone else's worries, because I'm an empath. But I think we can all get through this, and if you really, it takes a lot of seriously, it takes a lot of discipline and will to heal this issue, but it's possible. We can all do this, heal this if you really want to get to the fifth dimension and expand your consciousness and awareness. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed this, and God bless you. Have a great one.